Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. Hello, Ashley.
Hello, darling. We are back.
We are back. Did you miss us?
So sorry, Recap Nation. Apologies for the unexpected time away.
Listen, I'm happy we're here. You know?
Same. Yeah. It was
we weren't blown away.
It was one of those things where last minute decision was not gonna make it happen because I was in Florida and it was a journey, guys. I went down to Florida because I was supposed to be hanging out for the week and then going to the Usher concert. I had been looking forward to this concert since March. Mm-hmm. And it was going to be me and one of my girlfriends. It was a birthday trip for her. So she was really excited. We were hitting Miami, doing the Miami thing. This motherfucker named Milton decided to pop up and give me a nice little welcome back to Florida gift by just rapidly getting stronger and targeting Central Florida, where I happen to be staying. And they had just had Helene hit Florida, right? Like 2 weeks before. And I remember thinking when I was going down there, like, oh man, I barely, missed that by timing. So to get down there, and I remember when I was packing, I was like, it's about to be a lot of rain. What's going on with all this rain? So to get down there, and then it's like, oh no, we have a major hurricane, probably the worst one we've seen. It is the very end of hurricane season. For those who have never lived in this climate, hurricane season is June to November. So we are at the end, and this is the hurricane that wants to target Florida, right? So, I've been a Floridian had been for a long time. So I was, okay, we'll see how it goes. Cut to Tuesday night, Usher reschedules the concert to December. Wednesday morning, I get an alert on my phone at 8:00 in the morning that the county I was in had issued an evacuation order. Yes. And I was like, okay, I guess that's my cue.
That was the thing that was fascinating about this particular hurricane. How Central Florida was targeted. Like it was directly
in the eye of it.
Every other time it's like, oh, it's Central Florida. It's fine. It's not like you're Miami. It's not like you're Tampa.
Right by the water. Correct. And where I was staying, I was blocks from the St. Johns River, and the St. Johns River is still dealing with flooding right now. Wow.
And I wasn't trying to bug you or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure you were safe.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, so here's the thing that I don't miss about Florida is the anxiety that comes from the unknown, right? Because you just don't know how these storms are really going to hit, how the impact is going to be, any of these things. And so I was still prepared to ride it out until I got that alert, because for one, the airports had shut down. For two, that drive to Ohio or anywhere else ain't no bitch when it's hurricanes and people are trying to leave the city and state. So I just really didn't want to deal with any of those things. But
those videos were intense.
Girl, I did it back when I first moved to Florida 3 months in, Hurricane Irma. And so I left, and it was the worst driving experience I've ever had. I went to Atlanta. It took me 13 and a half hours. That trip usually takes 6.
Wow.
Okay. Between stop and go traffic, between not being able to find gas, it was a nightmare. Thankfully, by the grace of God, when I left Wednesday morning, most people had already left. So the traffic was not bad until I hit Atlanta. That was the only major traffic I dealt with. But guys, it did take me 16 hours to get home.
So you drove
I drove straight from Orlando, Florida to Ohio. Yes, I did.
Wow.
Thank you to all my friends and family who checked up on me, who sent me messages, who called me. My mom and my brother were checking on me like, you all right? You still making it? You good? How you feeling? You still
Right.
sound good. You got this, you know? I appreciate it because I was telling Delora before we started, I feel like my nervous system still hasn't quite relaxed just because I think my anxiety was just really high about the whole
Yeah.
situation. And then it was just so unexpected for me because I'm like, I don't even live here no more.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, man, you don't even live here anymore and you're dealing with all this mess. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm grateful that it did not have as bad of an impact for most folks as was expected. To all my friends who are still there, I know some folks had like some power out for a little bit, but nobody had major catastrophic issues or flooding or things like that. So I'm grateful that it did not do the damage that it could have, but still sending thoughts and prayers to those people who have been affected by now both back-to-back
Yes.
hurricanes. So
Yes.
and then I heard there's another one potentially on the horizon, but we're going to hope that that stays on far away.
Or just as a tropical storm or something, because yeah, that's
So
a
that's
lot.
that's what happened last week, guys.
Yeah. What
But we're
matters is
here
you are
today.
safe. You are in one
Yes.
piece.
Yes,
Thank
by
God
the
for
grace of
that.
God. Yes, that I came back, my eyes were blurry. I said, Jesus, thank you. Because woo, I never thought I'd make it 16-hour drives. I never, it's for the birds. Catch a flight if I can. Catch a flight if I can. But thank you, Jesus. So we here. And I'm happy to be back on the mic because I did really want a podcast last week. So I was disappointed.
Yeah, we were I know I was looking forward to it. And then I was like, you know what? Milton won't let us be great this week. And, that's okay. That's just how that
Mm-hmm.
cookie's going to crumble.
Exactly.
Speaking of crumble, have you been seeing Black people review crumble cookies online?
Yes. And can I say, I had just talked with coworkers about sending crumble cookies to new clients. I've never had crumble cookies, but when they even told me the price, I said, we could send them some Chips Ahoy. What are we talking about? $50 for for a
First of
cookie?
all, crumble cookies aren't that bad. Now, they were better when they first came out. I think now that they are officially a thing, and they're always constantly switching up their cookie recipes, there are some cookies that do miss. But there's some hits in there. You even Nora is even out here trying the cookies with her husband Lucky. Did you see that video?
No, but she's like, my cookies would never.
My cookies would never.
I
Did you
saw
grow
that
your
people were
own
saying they
cacao?
dry, they are tasteless. Here's my
They're
thing.
too sweet. They're too cakey. It's a lot.
I'm not with baked goods. Simple for me has always been best. I don't need multi layers of icing and all this stuff. I don't need, give me a simple brownie. Give me a simple chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin or sugar cookie. Give me a cake with one sheet of icing. Like that's all I need. Y'all be doing too much with these baked goods. That's the problem.
I think it's hilarious. And Black Twitter is everything. How was your weekend overall, Ashley? Because mine was very interesting. I did something I always wanted to try at least once. Um, and that was I went to the Ohio Renaissance Festival.
Did you dress up?
Girl, no. No, here's the deal. I know that's a thing, but I don't have fairy ears. Like
It's
I don't have
Halloween
any of those
season. I feel like you
things.
could have found some things.
Honestly, I did see Jason there. I mean, people weren't just, dedicated in being House Stark or anything. But that's why I went. I was like, I watch enough of this stuff, and I read the books, Fae,
It
dragons.
didn't even occur
Why
to me
not,
that people would dress up like Game of Thrones. It did not
girl?
even occur to me. But sure,
You're
yeah.
joking,
It
right?
well because like I think Ohio Renaissance or Renaissance festivals in general, and no offense to anybody who gets really into Renaissance festivals, it always seemed hella nerdy to me.
Of
Now
course, it is
granted,
peak people
GOT and all that stuff
watching.
is, but it felt like a different type of nerdy. Like it felt like the type of people who like they legit are like, I'm going back into time. I'm going to like
When
live
I
in this
tell you
era,
the
breathe in this
vendors
era.
are committed,
That's what I'm saying.
committed.
Yeah, it's
Like
like going to
I'm
a
pretty
Halloween
sure
haunt or house.
you dress like this 365. You know what I mean? Um,
Accents.
girl,
That's
everything,
what I'm saying.
everything.
It just
So,
seemed a
like
little
I said,
nerdy. Yeah.
it was an experience. It was Amara's first time. She loved it because she got all the things like jewelry and crystals and things like that. I was there to try the turkey leg, of course. It was delicious. But it was a lot. I was like, the three of us was trying to eat off this turkey leg. We couldn't do it. We could not do it. Um, but apparently it's wildly popular. So much so that they said when we bought our tickets that they were limiting the amount of tickets. And even when we were there, it was busy. Now, I think we went at the perfect weekend. The sun was out, it was comfortable, and there was a breeze. I don't understand how these people do it in the summertime because the festival's here from like August until literally the end of this month. So I'm like, those are some hot months there. Dressing up in kilts and things. But
Yeah.
it was a fun experience. We saw some shows and I did it. I did the thing.
I love it. I think so many things are worth trying at least one time. Me and my mom had never been to Trader's World. And so we went to Trader's World over the weekend because we were out at the outlets. I was like, you've got, even if like flea markets are not your thing, you have to at least
Mhm.
experience it because it's here. You know what I mean?
It's
And
a
it's
lot.
huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, experience some things, people. Get out your comfort zone. But my weekend was good. I was able to knock out some yoga homework that I had been putting off for some weeks, much needed because I have to go back this weekend. And then, like I said, me and my mom hung out. It's my brother's birthday coming up, so happy birthday to my brother when this
Happy
episode drops. Will
birthday.
be his B day. And we did a few things, went to the casino. Like we lived a little bit. We had some excursions. So it was fun.
Yes.
Speaking of like food, though, you reminded me when I was on my drive from Florida, I got to experience Buc-ee's for the first time. Okay. I had heard so much
The
about
gas
Buc-ee's.
station.
Yes. The
Okay.
destination, apparently, because I had heard so much about Buc-ee's. I heard their customer service was outstanding, but never did I know that it was an extravaganza. They have a
They have clean
brisket
bathrooms, right?
station. They have very clean, big bathrooms. They have a full brisket station. I mean, it's like a buffet in there for some people. Like
Really?
they was having an eating good time in Buc-ee's.
I had no
So
idea.
yeah. And then apparently the weekends are crazy. I've had two people tell me do not go on the weekends. The weekends you can't even hardly get out of the parking lot. I said, oh, okay. So I can say I experienced it twice. I went to two Buc-ee's on my drive in two different states.
And
So
were all Buc-ee's made the same?
yeah, I'd say the formula is the same. The clientele, it's kind of Walmart-ish, but
Okay.
but it was an experience. And I felt when you're on the road, I just like to stop places that are well lit,
Girl,
uh have
listen.
a nice crowd. So that's what Buc-ee's
That
was for me.
and likely to have a decent bathroom.
Yes. And they kept their bathrooms in very good shape at both the ones I stopped at. So yeah, overall my weekend was
I
not
find
bad at all.
myself being very particular as I've grown. Like I cannot do any old bathrooms. It just gives me the ick.
I have to if I have to, but I've become spoiled with using my own bathroom so much that public bathrooms are hard. Yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. But what I'm
Um,
not going to do is hold it so bad that I get a bladder infection. So I'm
oh
not
my
doing that either.
no,
Because people will be like busting
don't
a
do
gut on a
that.
plane. I'm like, if you don't just go ahead and pee,
Don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Let's go ahead and get into some of these headlines. Ashley, this is breaking news.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Liam Payne has passed away at 31 years old. It is said that he fell from a hotel balcony in Argentina. Ashley, this is truly unbelievable.
Shocking. I woke up to this as alerts on my phone because I took a little nap and I was like, what? The headline just said One Direction. So I'm like, oh my God, who died? If it was Harry, I feel like I would have had multiple messages all over my phone. Uh, Liam dying, falling off a freaking balcony out
He
of
was
the
on
country.
vacation.
I was just so confused by the whole situation. And now that I've looked at it more, they're saying he was acting erratically. Maybe he was under the influence. They don't know if it was intentional or not intentional. I'm like, and then TMZ always goes too far. They show up a picture of the red tarp that's over his body. I'm like, why do y'all have to show all of this? This is
That
already a
is so crazy.
tragedy.
So when I heard about it, my heart sunk immediately. Was I a One Direction fan? No, because I was out of that age bracket, but I was aware
Of course,
we're
they were
your
huge.
we're your pop culture girlfriends. Okay. So of course I knew about One Direction. Of course I have a couple of favorite songs. Of course I thought it was interesting when they broke up. And so I just my heart was just so broken because one, he's so young. Two, I'm just thinking about all of his family, friends, and fans. And then
His
three,
child.
his child. And on top of all that, I just, you know, I boy bands are pivotal figures in a young woman's life. You know what I mean? And I say that to say, y'all, I wrote a whole paper in college on the evolution of boy bands. So I have a little bit to say about this.
First
I
I'm
just feel
hearing of
sorry.
this.
Oh yeah, girl. It was like from the Beatles to like NSYNC or something like that.
College was fun
Oh,
for
very much
those
so.
sorts of things.
Um, I just it's just such a tragedy. This just generation, a millennial generational tragedy to have something like this happen. And I I don't have anything else to say other than we're just praying for his family and friends because this is unbelievable. Like situations like this is just because you question like was it on purpose, was it not on purpose, oh my goodness, this could have been preventable, and that just that can make you sick in itself, and it's just
Yeah. And he had been
so
there to see
sad.
one of Niall's shows. So like Niall's probably like, was he still there? Had he, you know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's so hard to lose loved ones in general, but to lose them so unexpectedly, so tragically, I just don't know how you really process it. So definitely sending thoughts and prayers to everyone he knew and loved.
Amen. All right, so we're gonna pivot and talk about something that's really important. It's October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and people who have breasts, get them checked out, y'all. Like, if you have someone in your family who, I'm not a doctor, this is a recommendation that I've heed to, but if there's anybody in your family who's been officially diagnosed, go ahead and subtract 10 years and go ahead and get yourself checked out, okay? For preventative measures. I'm looking at people.com. Former MTV VJ Ananda Lewis says her cancer has spread after she decided to, quote, keep my tumor. I feel like Ananda comes up this time of year annually now. She first shared that she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer back in 2020 in an Instagram post. And now in 2024, she was on a roundtable discussion on CNN where she talks about when she found out she was diagnosed, the medical decision she decided to take, she took a more holistic approach. She talked about how she wanted to, you know, flush out all excessive toxins out of her body. So she it was like a mixture of holistic and medical treatments. She decided to keep her tumor. And in this latest conversation, she talks about how her breast cancer has metastasized. Actually, I think this is such an important conversation, and I really appreciate her being very open with her story, because I think it's important that people know that they have options. But I just find her to be so brave to be transparent in her journey. What did you take from her recent revelation?
I mean, it's tough. I think it is definitely nice that she is choosing to share her story to help other people who are going on this journey or who may inevitably have to go on this journey. But it's tough because it is a very individual choice in terms of how you want to move forward once you do have a diagnosis of something and the health implications and how it may impact your quality of life and all these things, right? So I do think it's a very individual and personal decision still at the end of the day. And let's be honest, healthcare is not cheap in
It's
this
not.
country.
Yeah.
So it is always fortunate to have options and have things that are available to you when these sorts of things come up. But I guess the biggest feeling I felt was just kind of sad, because we grew up with Ananda Lewis. We grew up in the MTV era
Yes.
when she was a VJ. And so for her to be going through now stage 4 breast cancer, I'm just concerned for her and what this means in terms of her longevity. So that was my honest reaction was, what does this
Yeah.
mean now for Ananda and for her life?
Yeah. And when she revealed that she had breast cancer back in 2020, she said that she refused mammograms for years due to fear of radiation exposure. So I I appreciate her transparency in her journey, and hopefully it touches people in a way where they can learn from it or find examples, find her to be an example from it. And we are praying for her health and wellness. So, all right, we're going to switch gears again and talk about some hot mess.
Hmm.
We talked about this several weeks ago. DDG and Halle Bailey have broken up. He's the only one that said something about it. He had this long post that Ashley did not believe. Um,
Didn't believe he wrote at least.
and Ashley, since that post up until literally this week, Hallie didn't say a thing. But DDG seemingly has been on what I call a breakup tour, going on these random podcasts, saying things like, um, if you're young, don't get into a real relationship until you get your money right. And he got into it with this one social media person talking about she's a baby mama. And the lady was like, "You made Haley a baby mama." It was ugly. It was so ugly.
Yeah, she was like, my child is with my ex-husband. Did you marry her? Was there a proposal I missed? Yeah, she she definitely has some words.
And he since said that and I'm looking at the shade of room, he doesn't plan on getting into another relationship unless he rekindles with Hallie. He's like, I don't want multiple baby mamas. Actually, he is out here running his mouth. And the most that we got out of our little mermaid, okay, is I'm a survivor post with her and her baby. I think this could have been a lot uglier, but I still think he's doing the most. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know what if we're gonna ever speak about him again after this. So I guess this is his effort to stay in the headlines and in the blogs and in the conversation of folks. Because
Girl, did you see him
no,
offering to pay for two fans' BBLs?
no. Because again, I don't expect him to ever be in my life again. Probably unless they rekindle, because he wasn't in my life before. I'm a fan of Halle and Chloe. I don't know this man. So I'm not surprised by how she's handling it though. She didn't tell us she was pregnant till she had her child.
True.
So I expect her to keep mum, because I don't think she feels that it's any of our business. And that's just fine with me. So
I'm sorry, two non-surgical BBLs. And then he since have reneged on that and said that he's going to pay for some tuition scholarship situations because of the backlash. Because who does this? Who anyway, it tickled me of like he's so random and it's like, sir, what are you talking about? You had a whole child with this woman talking about, because it ultimately sounded like he was insecure. One of the conversations he had, he was like, yeah, relationships is a lot of work. And, I don't want to be sitting up knowing some dude can, talk to my girl online and got more money than me or something like that and can get her. I was like, what are we talking about? Is this what relationships are based off of? That sounds like
no, it's
you're insecure.
it's one young man's thought process. I realize that the internet is so problematic because it really makes it seem like everybody is kind of like operating in the
Hive
same
brain,
mindset and
hive
space,
brain. Yeah.
and we are not.
And we are not. That is so true. Speaking of hive brain or not, this got a lot of mixed reviews, Ashley. And I am talking about the 2025 Met Gala theme and their co chairs. So, the first Monday in May in 2025 will be super fine, tailoring Black style. It was announced last week. It talks about it will examine the historical and cultural emergence of the Black dandy. It says historically, the term dandy was used to describe someone, often a man, who is extremely devoted to aesthetics and approached it as a lifestyle. We have some pretty famous co-chairs leading this experience. The celebrity co-chair list includes ASAP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, so excited, Lewis Hamilton, who is also Bay, LeBron James, and Pharrell Williams. Ashley, what was your initial thoughts on this particular theme and co-chairs? And do you think this is a little too late? And what I mean by that is, who would have loved this theme? Andre Leon Talley.
Mm,
And
fair.
in some ways, I'm like, Anna, are you trying to do a Mia Copa or something? Because it just feels a little too late for me personally. Because Andre definitely embodied the dandy style for years before he started wearing the big moo-moos.
Mm. I mean, I don't think it's too late. I'm sure he's pleased wherever he may be for this theme, but it does make me excited because I just want to know how people are going to interpret this. I want to see all the beautiful Black people who are going to show up and show out, because I know they will. Excited by these fabulous chairs. Only person I thought about, I was like, If they would have slipped in a woman I've been in, they would have been like, pick me.
She just did it
I know
though.
she did, but I guarantee you she would have skipped last year to do this year if she had known, especially
She
after
wears
Law
a
spoke out.
suit.
Exactly.
She
Remember
can
when
wear a
her and Michael B.
suit.
Jordan wore the same suit and they both look
Yes.
impeccable?
Yes.
Impeccable. Because Law has
I
already
hope she's
spoken out.
there.
So they it would have been epic. But yes, I think this is going to be fabulous. I can't wait. I'm not always super excited for the Met Gala themes, but this is one that I am super curious to see. Now, don't white people come up in here to this
That was
Met
my follow
Gala
up. This is my follow up. Are they going to do us?
doing nothing stupid.
Are they going to do us right, or is it going to be a caricature and we're going to hate it? I
Don't
hope. I
don't
hope
do
not.
it. Don't do it.
You think Beyonce going to show up?
I don't know if I care. And I don't mean that to be shady. I just mean it in
I'm
the
just
sense
trying
of
to think
like,
about people who can rock this look because
yeah,
Beyonce loves a good suit too. Her
I'm
fashion can
sure.
be hit or miss for me.
I'm sure if
We've
she
talked about this
does,
before.
I'm sure if she does, she'll look good. But Rihanna is definitely gonna come.
Listen, that
Unless
is.
she's pregnant again. She's definitely gonna come.
First of all, never cared about ASAP Rocky because for many years he only liked the white models, and I think he once said like, "Oh, why do I care about social justice?" This is me paraphrasing, so I'm just like,
Till he
no,
got
thank you.
arrested. Sure.
Until he got arrested, exactly. But Riri got him. And he is so cute as a dad. So cute. Like throwing his baby boys all over the place. It's just adorable. I love it.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun year. I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah.
Lock me in.
You're not going to show up, Ashley? How
Oh,
much is the ticket?
honey, if I was invited, sure. This
The
would be my
hottest ticket.
moment. I'd be like, listen, somebody style me, please.
450 attendees annually with numerous celebrities from various industries. Serena, I can't wait to see her.
Venus. Venus is gonna shut it
Venus
down.
has been coming
Yeah, she been
with
cooking.
it.
She been cooking.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love this for them. The iconic era for them. All right, let's get into our hot topic. Girl, Kayla Nicole went on
Messy.
Angel Reese's podcast. I don't know how we went from rooting for her to like, girl, what?
Real quick.
Real quick. Again, I also need to ask you this, Ashley. Does everybody need a podcast? Like every time I see like a celebrity coming up with a new podcast, I'm just like, I feel like I get deflated just a little bit. Like
Oversaturation in the market.
Listen.
No, everybody does not need a podcast. I didn't even know Angel had a podcast until this interview, but I do
fair,
love.
She's working like us, though. Like,
Indeed.
She needs that income.
Indeed. These are big facts. Caitlin Clark, what was it, 70-some thousand a year?
Listen.
I do love and appreciate the relevance of podcasts, though. The fact that podcast interviews and clips, are some of the most popular, viral, shared things that happen on these internets these days. And this is no exception. This was so messy. I don't know how she thought this was not going to be like, if you reflect in the moment.
Alone.
If you reflect in the moment, Kayla, the caliber of people you're talking about and the messiness of the situation that you're talking about, you should have known better.
Should have
Were
known.
you drinking?
So what am I talking about? I am referring to, she told Angel Reese that she dated an athlete. She moved to New York for him. Then he dumped her via text and went public with his girlfriend, and they became like, the black it couple. And she said, because she's a Scorpio, she decided to do some Scorpio things. And that was, she dressed up as his girlfriend, then eventual wife, for Halloween. Who are we talking about? We apparently are talking about, this is the internet sleuths for you, Teyana Taylor and Iman Shepherd. Kudos to Kayla Nicole looking fire though, because not everybody can copy Teyana Taylor in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Body was what they call T. But girl, what? And the issue is this: there seems to have been a lot of overlap in this relationship, and either she was naive with whatever Iman was telling her about his connection with Teyana Taylor. I don't know. She says she moved for this man. I'm like, at this rate, I don't know why Teyana Taylor decided to respond, because she did. Teyana was like, I just be minding my business, and then stuff like this happens.
Drinking my water, minding my biz. Again, in the moment, you know how you'll be saying something like, damn, that went too far. In the moment, you should have known that what you were saying was crazy. Because she was like, nobody's ever going to be able to find out. Or if they do, whatever, I don't care. Like, everybody found out very quickly. And not only did they find out very quickly, you're talking about someone who just went through and is still going through a very public divorce and separation from this person. And it was kind of just like throwing shit onto shit in terms of probably the feelings Teyana may have already had for everything. Like it felt unnecessary. We're definitely on your side in the whole backlash about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So like, for you to now step into shit with a black couple.
Yes.
Now, I can't, I'm not rooting for you anymore, Kayla, because this was just unnecessary mess.
So unnecessary. She did say on the podcast that she's officially over athletes. She'll be looking for an executive or something.
She sounds like Chloe. Okay. Yep. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, girl. All the black girls was pulling up for her with the Taylor thing. Because again, Taylor's fans be doing the most.
We talked about it. Her video that she posted, like we were definitely on her side. We talked about how Travis looks like a white man now, and he did not before.
He did not.
Like it's been so many
you can
things.
tell he has no idea what he's doing with his style now though, because it's all over the place.
The facial hair alone hurts my
feelings. Right? And then the bucket hats and the haircut. Sir, what happened to the fade? The fade made more sense.
He went from the streets of Atlanta to the streets of Rhode Island real quick.
He looks like he's gonna arrest somebody, like sheriff.
It's his Halloween costume, clearly.
Yeah. But with the handlebar mustache and everything.
Maybe Kayla needs to sit this next one out. Like, just don't do any more interviews for a little bit. Let this cool off, because Teyana is beloved by the Black community. So for her to say something like she was famous then and all, like just little shady comments, they're like, girl, nah. Like, I get it. That y'all had a little beef. She did on
another podcast called I Am Athlete and said, I thought that I handled things with grace. I answered the questions to the best of my ability. And what else did she say? Mastering the media. What is this? She said, the public has their interpretation of things. She's like, I would be lying if I said that level of hate and just like online chaos didn't impact me. It does, even to this day. Girl, again, she's a gorgeous gal. She got her own money. That was another thing that was interesting from that conversation. She said that she's not in relationships and she does not pay 50-50. She's like, does it look like I would pay 50-50? because the rumor was that Travis was cheap. But he don't have to worry about that now because he's with the billionaire. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. The Victoria's Secret fashion show has come back again. And this is surprising because it has been gone for 6 years. Okay. The last time it
Damn.
happened, it drew in the lowest viewership at 3.2 million viewers. And this year came back with a bang at Amazon. You can stream it online or Amazon. I thought that was interesting. Um, and they really tried to reinvigorate it with having a diverse cast of galleys, angels. They even brought back the OGs. I'm talking about the Tyra Banks, along with who freaking Kate Moss. This is her first time walking the runway. Then, of course, you had the Bella sisters, or I'm sorry, the Hadid sisters. Yeah, everybody looked beautiful. Cher performed, Tyler performed, Lisa performed. Did you know it was coming out? Did you watch it? Do you care? Are they really going to touch Savage Fenty?
No, 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 no. Did not know what was happening. Did not watch. Do not think it's relevant anymore. Do not think it will touch Savage by Fenty. No shade. Saw the Tyra thing. Fun. Obviously, the lingerie, beautiful women, always going to be a show for somebody to catch. But does it move the needle in terms of pop culture? Does it move the needle in terms of sales anymore? Probably not. I mean, Victoria's Secret is still a staple in terms of, the industry that it is in. People still buy plenty of things from Victoria's Secret, bras, panties, athleisure, whatever. But, it
Mhm.
just doesn't have the same level of dominance it once had. And I also think that the television landscape is just a challenging landscape. So it's
Yes.
no shade to Victoria's Secret in particular, but no, it's not. It's no longer at the height. And I don't think it'll ever be back at that height again in terms of people tuning in specifically to this particular show.
I have to say, the Victoria's Secret fashion show was such a big deal growing up. Like the holiday special, and then the things that I used to love about it were like the different types of wings, and Giselle in that freaking walk was always insane. And then you had Heidi and Tyra. It was a moment. And I feel like, this is why we love Rihanna. Rihanna is such a what they call industry innovator, industry not agitator, but like she changes things and flips them on their head, starting off with the makeup and having actual brown colors for people, and everyone saw that, hey, guess what, that sold. And now, and with Savage Fenty, her fashion shows, we talk about them all the time. Fire, 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 like with the level of entertainment and body diversity and actual you know underwear. It's something to behold. And I feel like Victoria's Secret was here first, but they still have a long way to go. The last thing I want to say is a lot of people are giving Tyra a hard time because Tyra is in her CEO era. Okay. So she got an ice cream empire along with all the other things that she's been doing. And online, people are pretty much saying she could never be America's Next Top Model with where she is today and how she used to body shame the people. I feel I'm not trying to justify what Tyra did during that time, but unfortunately, those were the times. That was what she was doing was light work compared to what was actually being done off camera. And I don't know. I think people, I don't know. I give Tyra some grace. I don't know. How about you, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, I think standards have definitely changed across the board in terms of what is accepted, what is embraced now in terms of beauty standards and all those things that were just not a factor at the time and height of the supermodels of our day, right? So I agree. And Tyra's always gonna be Tyra. I mean, she's an icon. So
The face was giving, okay? And that walk, yes, ma'am. All right, Ashley, that's all we have for today. What are we recapping for next week?
all right, still in Halloween spooky season. It is a TBT to a childhood classic, 1995, with the queen then of darkness, Christina Ricci. This is Casper, currently
Yes.
available to stream on Peacock. If y'all have not seen this movie in a while, because I had not, so many things to discover
It's
in
crazy. Yeah.
another watch. So if you have not seen it, please give it a watch so you guys can come back with fresh eyes and fresh ears for us next week.
Can't wait.
It's a date. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you as always for your patience and for coming back and listening to another episode. Please share this one with everyone you know. We so appreciate it. We will be back, but in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.